Hey guys, welcome back. It's Anna Chaos from Captain Hobbes and the Astrocats. I know it's been a minute. Last week my time was monopolized with dealing with a couple personal matters, but this week pretty much I'm back on the ball. The week before that I was testing some of the AI tools, as I've been mentioning the last couple weeks. That is a path that I would like to explore, and I'm currently starting with a really short 18-second 18-second video. I built the last video. I talked about building a background simply using AI tools. Now I'm trying to get into the image to video or text to video portion of the experiment. So before I forget, let's go ahead and get started. But let's go ahead, just per usual. Just remember, we do have a webpage. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on Threads, and then we are also on Blue Sky. If you follow any of those, as you can see, I'm posting them. The reason why I have them everywhere is because there's so many platforms. I don't know where people are going to be at, so I just pretty much just rather kind of put them in there. Okay, so let me show you the process that I started with. Okay, so let's start all the way from the beginning. So, so the first thing that I needed to figure out on this process is how to talk to the computer, which is the AI prompt portion. Now, I'll be honest when I say my English, I'm going to say it very loudly, English, because I'm bilingual. It's not very hot. So one of the things that I wanted to do, I want to see the capability, and I went for the most direct approach, which is me grabbing all the pre-made assets that I made, which was the video, the character design, the background, the static background, and then the desk in front. And then I pretty much asked it to go ahead and describe what they saw in this clip. And I'm like, okay, cool, that kind of works. So they broke it down per minutes per second. And let me go ahead and pull out the AI prompt here. I say create a 2D animation based on the video provided. General GUI file is the 2D main character. The base background has a chair that she sits on a and perform and the desk. Okay, so that's pretty much where I screwed up right there. There's my English right there. And the foreground should be up front. So that's where the thing, yeah, okay, now that I read it out loud, that kind of makes sense why I couldn't get it right. Well, poopigans. Anyway, use general GUI file as your character references and keep it consistent in her animation performance, right? So mine is the sentence fumble, because it's the big freaking fumble right there. Okay, mine is the fumble. I try to be as, I'm thinking, if I provide you the assets and I tell you what I want you to do with it, then it can run. No, it cannot do that. So right immediately I grabbed this prompt, and the prompt that I was running into is that when you're using Gemini and then you switch it to the video portion of it, which is what I have right here, when you're doing the video at this point, there is no way to attach the reference material for the AI to generate the content. It's literally text to video. So that's the first thing that immediately I realized that it doesn't work. Okay, so I went ahead and I grabbed this right here, raw and uncut. I just simply grabbed that, and then I went ahead and I dumped it into the video section, and this is pretty much what it gave me. Let me turn on my audio so you guys can hear it. Now, I've shown you guys the clip before, and the clip is pretty much her sitting at her desk, looking frustrated, looking at Sergeant Scully's, Sergeant Scully's test result, and going, how did this guy pass? Look at the test rock pass. So it didn't quite understand the rock and the cat being frustrated, so it made this, which is very far-fetched, very amusing, but whatever. You know, so that was the first trial. So at this point I realized not only is the character not on point, but the AI is not quite understanding what I am, how I want the scene to go. Oh, and so right here, before I forget, let me kind of zoom in real quick so you guys can see. Oh, not that one. Right over here. Okay, so this is the level of prompting that you kind of have to do, and this is the raw version right here. So keep in mind that most of these platforms, this is why I was doing the research, they can only do up to a certain point of visual information. So Gemini's limit is 3 8-second videos per day because I have just the introduction account, but I can do that every day. I can only just do 3 videos every day for a month. So I have to break this down in chunks of 8 seconds at the most. So once again, it gave me this option right here. It broke the scene down by seconds. Then I went ahead, it's like, okay, this is set 1, this is set 2, this is set 3, and then, you know, and that's pretty much all the way to the end. So technically the scene is broken down into 3 different sets at around 8 seconds a chunk. So once this was done, then I go, okay, that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and only test the first 8 seconds. So in order to do that, I had to go back in and had the computer describe what the character looked like. So you can see right there, there's an image of General Goey, and I wrote, write a prompt describing this 2D character, and this is pretty much what I wrote. Here's a prompt description of the 2D character. A fierce 2D animated feline character with gray fur and distinctive dark gray hair. She has a striking yellow-green eyes and scars running through her left eyebrow. Partially covered by a yellow eye patch with stylized emblem on it. So that's pretty good considering the fact I just gave it just an image. She wears a dark purple tunic or dress clinched with a brown belt with a gold buckle and a prominent golden yellow cape that flows over her shoulder. She holds a silver sword with a white hilt in her right hand. The art style is bold and somewhat chibi-like, with its clean lines, solid color, giving her a strong and determined appearance. So, I'm looking at this, I was like, yeah, that's pretty much Goey in a nutshell. Cool, okay? Then from there, I did the same thing, but with just the background. I go, describe this right here. And as I'm going through, guys, because I'm only going to pay for one account, you know, I have multiple Gmail accounts for different things, and right now my main one, that's where I have my Gemini Pro on. So right now I'm pretty much just saying, okay, I'm using this, but I'm also making sure that as the progress as I'm going through, I'm documenting it on my other, on the other side. Give me a second. You close this. Oh, crap. I accidentally closed it. Bah, it's the problem with everybody and their mother trying to reach out to me. Okay, let's go back to where I was. Sorry about that. Okay, so I went ahead and I asked it to describe this, and this is what I got. This image depicts the interior of a futuristic spacecraft cabin. In the foreground, there is a sleek, curved desk with a what appears to be a holographic or transparent blue screen displays some information. On the desk, there are a few small items, possibly a book or device and pen. To the left of the desk, there is a comfortable looking pilot or a captain's chair, upholstered in blue and orange with some glowing accents. The chair is positioned to face a large curved window and dominates the right side of the image. So far so good, right? Through these expansive windows, a breathtaking view of Earth and outer space is visible. A large blue planet, presumable Earth, is prominent, with a smaller celestial body or moon in the distance. Below the planet, what looks like a mountain range and a landmass are visible, suggesting a spacecraft in orbit. The overall impression is one of an advanced technology and stunning cosmic vista. Okay, sounds good, right? So here's what I had to do. So I went ahead and I grabbed that information. So I went from the original prompt, then I went here, and then I went ahead and I started tweaking that. I started tweaking that. So the first thing I did is that I added pretty much here's depicting the cabin. Okay, and then here, right here, and I, instead of going with what I had before, which was very big, the base background JPEG, so it was literally just referring to the content that I provided. So it's the main background. The desk foreground JPEG is placed in the foreground, which is the blue screen appearing active and a character based on Astrocats character Gen Goey web.png. Is sitting in the chair visible in the base background JPEG behind blah 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 blah. So you can see it's very, doesn't quite work. So I simply went ahead and I grabbed the prompt. Now that I understand that this thing mostly operates in text to video and not reference to video or a image to video, because there's different levels, different stuff, but right now I'm starting with just text to video just to kind of get a feel of the platform. So let me show you what version 2 showed. So this was version 1, train wreck, right? Not bad for the first time. Then I went ahead and this is the prompt that I wrote, which is practically this right here. Okay, I grabbed all of this all the way down here, and I plopped it in here. Whatever. And this is the result from version 2. The only difference is that I made sure, because remember, in the original animated show, I added combat rock had to be somewhere in the scene. So that way when she says, like, even the combat rock can do it, look at it, and it shows the rock. So I made sure, I'm thinking like the original image that I created. Let me go ahead and find it. Let me go ahead and find the original reference. Give me a second, please. I have so many I'm constantly dabbling on an array of projects, believe it or not. GUI test. I should have had this ready. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so let me go back to the original test photo. There we go. So, you know, this is what I'm thinking of. This is what I want. So in my mind, I'm thinking the way the platform, for whatever reason, it always defaults to the view you see right here, where the character is kind of 3/4 towards the camera, but the desk can never really be quite in front of the character. So that is another difficulty that I'm running into right now, that the AI simply cannot do a performance if part of the body is obstructed. So it always kind of tries to push it off to the side instead of kind of overlapping with the character. So this might require multiple layers of animation, where I have just the character with the background just performing, and then I will have to overlap the desk on it. But anyway, so let's go ahead and continue. So here, this is pretty much what it made from this extensive prompt right here. Unfortunately, at this point, there is no dialogue. However, some of the things that I did have to specify from the first round to the second round right here, when it talks about what she physically sees on the screen, the AI, because how it was a storyboard, it didn't quite understand what it was doing. So let me describe what is actually on her screen from the first version to the third version. So animation 0007. Jen Goy is at the desk looking at a screen, specifically the one showing rank with psych, mental, and combat crossed out. Her head is initially resting on her hand or looking frustrated in relief of her face, similar to the first few frames of Goy's timing tense MP4, so it's referring to the video I created. Her mouth is closed, slightly agape in disbelief. She slightly shakes her head in disapproval. Okay, so that's version 1. Here is version 3. Okay, so right here, again, you can see where I am trying. Okay, so the image depicts interior, blah, 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 blah. This is the edit. On the desk, there's a few small items, possibly a book, a device, or a pen. There is also a small rock the size of a book on the right side of the desk with googly eyes. So that's where you start seeing this right here. Let me see right here. To the left of the desk, there's a comfortable looking pilot or captain's chair, a poster in blue and orange with some glowing accents. Okay, you can see right there, they put like the little glowy accents right there. Okay, whatever. The chair is positioned to face towards the camera. Both the chair and the desk are positioned by a curved window that dominates the right side of the image. So you can see how I'm trying to now give it more instructions, so it tries to get it a little bit better from the original version that I added on there. To these expansive windows, breathtaking, blah blah blah. You can see the earth, so we're into that. Okay, and then right here I continue to define it. The desk is placed in the foreground with the blue screens appearing active. The character based on General Goey is sitting in the captain's chair behind the desk. And then it goes into the interpretation of Goey. Now at this point I couldn't figure out if she was holding a sword. And then right here's where I spotted. So she has a silver sword with a white hilt holster on her belt. So she has the white sword, but it's for whatever reason is, I don't know. It's, yeah, originally it said she had, so the original said that she had a sword in her hand, and this is the version that I changed it to. Sorry, give me a sec. I'm trying to refresh back because it's been almost about technically a few days since I looked at it, because it does fry your brain trying to get these prompt rights. Okay, so that was that one. Okay, not too bad, not good, not bad, but meh. Okay, and keep in mind that as you're doing this, even though it takes the platform 2 or 3 minutes to generate, I only have 3 shots per day, which means every time I'm doing these prompts, I'm looking at 30 to 40 minutes each. And that's because I have to read it, I have to read it over and over and over again. And actually, if you get a chance, let me see. I think I saved it. Let me go to my playlist. Let me see. Production.
This anime is not.
Nope, not that one. Let me see if I can. There was one that I kept. I'll try to find it. It's Nope. There was a great video. I have to find it. Funny animation. Anyway, there is a great video where they literally talk about making a sandwich, and it's just these kids trying to tell their dad, literally step by step, how to do these instructions. Sorry about that. And so that's the kind of level that you have to think about when you are creating this content. But anyway, so here is the final version that I tried for the day. Look how long this prompt is. Now, this time around, I had to literally specify to the animation style with bold lines, because I want to see, can it get close? Because remember, I cannot tell this, I cannot give it a visual reference to do this part. This is strictly text to video, so it's for a standalone situation. So I just kind of want to give it one more shot. You can see right here there's a 2D portion of this, and this is what it came up with. Okay, so not too bad. So it's a 2D. It meets the description of the character. However, the difference is that now this time it puts the sword on her belt, so now it's on the back of her body instead of being on her hand. But here's the other problem. She's got this weird diamond on her head. I don't know where that diamond came from. It wasn't there from the previous version, but suddenly there's a diamond up there instead by her eye patch. So again, no. And then this got a little bit closer. So that is good that the prompts that I'm writing are being understood by the AI. However, it did lose some of the luster of the background. Look how plain Jane. So from that to that to this. Like, meh. It's kind of reminds me of the old Flash games from the Newgrounds day. Yeah, it tells you how freaking old I am. Newgrounds. Woo! Let's go play some Castle Crashers. That game is still good, by the way. You can find it on Steam. But anyway, so close but no Cupido. So here's the next part that I need to do. So right now I'm looking into, let me see, it's called Gemini Flow. Okay, so this is pretty much going to be and this is part of Google Labs, and it's Gemini Flow and then Create with Flow. And this one right here, this is a little bit more technical. Now, I haven't started experimenting yet because this is what you need to understand about Google when you start getting into Flow. When you have your account, you have a certain amount of tokens that are given to you to generate these projects, okay? If I go right here into these options right here, so if I want to go, so instead of, now I know text to video does not work. We already did that. So for here, it has to be frame to video. So at this point, I need to go back to the original background that I composite. Finish doing Goe's hands and feet, because right now, per the rough image, you can see right here, this is a quick mock-up, but we don't see her arms and we don't see her feet. Okay, so I need to make sure that I add those in so that way the computer can understand it. But here's the problem. If I switch this to frame to video, and then I switch to, right now we have one output VO fast, or I go to VO3 quality. Okay, right here it tells you each generation uses 100 credits based on your current settings. So right now I need to go ahead and take a look. What settings can I use? So this is going to be my next step of exploring these like AI tools to produce this project. It might turn out that what I had to do is kind of like old school keyframing, but at a completely different ballpark, where I have to do scene 1 to scene 2. So it'll be 8 seconds worth, 8 seconds worth, and then composite it together. So I'm already trying to formulate how this works. This is when I want to do 18 seconds first versus doing a whole minute. So, but if I can nail this down, it's gonna go by fast. But anyway, so this is where I'm going to stop for today. I simply want to show you the progress that I'm doing with these AI tools. Like I said, this was just me putting my toe in the kiddie pool. I'm going in as a novice, and I am pretty much watching YouTube videos of how people are using this. And I'm also aware that some of the tools are not available in our region for reasons I don't know. They're available in other regions, but not here. Don't know why. Don't ask me. Just the way things are. So, but I think this is a really good start. And like I said, right now I'm trying to do a short to come up with the flow. That is the next step. Pre-production time is done. Now we are in production mode. And because it's mostly me and I have limited resources, yes, I've still not found a job. I thought I did, but I didn't. So because it's just me and I have limited resources, I am taking that time between me searching for a new job to experiment with these tools and then try to get something. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you guys that stuck with us. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting us. I will continue to provide these updates. Let me know, what you think. Do you like this content? Do you not like this content? Too boring? I mean, I find this stuff kind of fascinating, but I used to go to SeaGraph to watch the guy that coded water on the Star Wars 2 movie. So kind of a nerd that way. So that stuff kind of really blows my mind away. It's like, whoa. So this is pretty much me being uncut and unedited, just to kind of show you, hey, here's my process without the paywall. Like I said, right now I'm still dealing with Patreon. I gotta finish setting that up. It's just I'm trying to figure out what to put there. Like I said, that's yet another platform that I gotta learn. So I'm trying to do the best that I can to manage everything. But anyway, guys, please like and subscribe. I appreciate your feedback. Let me know if you like this content, and I'll talk to you guys later. And again, I'll keep posting these out in the future. But anyway, y'all take care. Peace.